Ready?
It's going.
Action.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, that was mine.
Oh, that's your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, welcome again to the Senior State Concierge All Chapter Meeting for September. Thank you all for being here, taking the time to being here, getting to know some of the other Senior State Concierge members. This is the perfect opportunity to do that. With that, so we already did our lunch and we did some networking, which is great. We're going to introduce Britt, and he's going to talk a little bit about Belmont Village West University. So,
All right, thank you so much, Bill. Good morning, everyone. My name is Britt Burt, Executive Director here at Belmont Village West University. I think we know a lot of familiar faces. You get to come to Talk to Me Tuesdays and a lot of these luncheons. I think we've been hosting for almost 2 years now, or throughout. Yeah,
About 2 years.
Yeah. So it was such a pleasure. It's grown in size and needed a larger space and more rental furniture. So always glad to see that to make sure we can accommodate y'all. But I just want to talk a little bit about Belmont Village and what we represent. West University, we're actually celebrating our 26th year coming up in November. This is actually the first community for award-winning program founded by Patricia Will, still female owner, CEO today, with now over 30 plus communities across the United States and Mexico City. But we like to brag that we're the original, and we made it happen, and we made the love spread across the whole United States. So we have amazing programming with Circle of Friends. So if you do have people that are looking for that kind of memory care programming while still wanting the independence of assisted living, Circle of Friends is a great program for that. We have over 60 participants in that program alone, and it's a really great engagement to allow that baseline for cognitive to maintain much longer. And our secure memory care neighborhood is also thriving with over 99% occupancy.
Wow.
So doing really great as a community and hope to keep that alive. And just appreciate y'all because this meeting of great minds and senior living, it really does take a village. That's why we call it Belmont Village. And we have that village here in this room today. So thank you so much for joining us today. And if you do need anything, my name is Britt again. A lot of this was set up by our amazing Lisa, so I just want to give her a big kudos.
Yes.
Between her setting up and our amazing chef Jason and our Josephine's Kitchen team, really hope you all enjoy today's event.
Thank you very much for hosting us. Appreciate it very much. Okay, come on. All right, so here's our agenda. Again, next is going to be, I'm going to do a quick intro for TSEC for those that are new or may not know, but even if you have been here, you might want to listen again. And then Gail's going to talk a little bit about podcasting. We're going to do member and guest introductions, and we have a special guest presenter today, Cindy Hartman with CNS Care Management. So we are so glad you're here. And then we'll go through the announcements. So if you can stick around till the end, that's the important part where you get all the good stuff, the announcements. Really, Cindy's the more important thing, and then the announcements. So with that, Senior State Concierge purpose is to connect various senior service providers and build a trusted, quality, professional services organization, networking organization, so that we can provide seniors with good, trusted senior services. That's the whole point. So it's the purpose in our mission to bridge the gaps in the senior services industry and connect seniors and their families with trusted senior services. When we say trusted, members, we are a membership program or networking organization, and we background check and vet all the members so that we know that everybody's on the same page, and we are here to first serve seniors and their families. Secondarily, we will build a network and grow our businesses together. So what we are, a semi-exclusive, max 2 service providers per category, resource and solutions organization for seniors and families. What we are not, we're not the traditional business networking group where probably everybody's gone to, where they might have one member per category and some of them meet weekly, some of them meet once a month. We're not that, we're a little different than that. We're not a chamber of commerce where you're going to have a whole bunch of different providers from the same type of category. And we're not a social club just to get together once a month and socialize, which is not a bad thing. None of those are bad things, but we want to say that we are a little more than those things and a little bit deeper with our relationships and building trust for seniors and to serve seniors and families first. We are a membership program or organization, as I mentioned. Some of the benefits, you get connections with, right now, a little over 70 other service providers that are trusted and background checked, which is very valuable when you think about how much money every small business spends on marketing every year, and you might have 1 or 2 marketing people in your business to try to grow your business. Now you've got 70, more than 70. So if you are in the organization and you're connecting with other service providers and you're doing one-on-ones and really getting to know them, you got potentially have 70 or more business owners marketing your business for you. You can't get that for the cost anywhere else. We have monthly area chapter meetings, so we have 6 chapters, and each one of those meets once a month. And then we have our monthly all chapter meeting, this one, so that everybody gets to kind of get together and you can meet members and service providers from other chapters. 2 service providers per category, as I mentioned before. Your business will be marketed. We have a professionally designed website. We are working on more social media. We now have a new assistant, which some of you might have heard, Chelsea, and she's awesome. She's going to be doing a whole lot more marketing, social media, that kind of things for us. We have events. There's one coming up, I think next week or the week after, at St. Ignatius Church in Cyprus, where a few of the members will be doing a short, about hour-long educational program. We have print materials, which you saw on your table there. And we now have a podcast, which Gail is going to talk about. So lots going on to help market everybody, the whole organization, but everybody's business as well. Senior community education events, opportunity to join multiple chapters. So if your business is kind of all over Houston and you want to be in multiple chapters, you can do that. You will have an opportunity to present at the meetings and events. You definitely will get referrals between members. We don't track and we don't require them like some other business networking groups, but we are going to start kind of tracking them just so that we can show, hey, we are really providing each other value there, okay? And it's not about, again, that's not our primary mission to provide referrals, but it is a big part of what you all want to do, get out, one of the values you want to get from out of this. We do support nonprofits, Twilight Wish and Alzheimer's primarily. There's a Twilight Wish brochure on the tables, if you're not familiar with Twilight Wish. And then also we are part of the Better Business Bureau of Houston, and we are an A+ accredited business, and we are a winner of distinction, award of distinction for the 3rd year in a row. So congratulations to all of you. And that's really important just to make sure that we keep up our credibility within the community, okay? So, how do we do what we do? Here's the test. That's a what? A bouquet of roses. So, how do we do this? What's the R stand for? Resources. Oh, you guys are awesome. What's the O stand for?
Options.
All right. What's the S stand for?
Solutions.
All right, or services.
Service.
And E?
Education.
And solutions. So that's what we are all about. Someone said we're like a bouquet of roses. Great. That's what we are. So that's how we do what we do. We want to provide all these things to seniors and families first and foremost, and we will all grow and help more. All right. Any questions? Good. Next up, Gail. All right, Gail, let's get you set up here. Second here. Where did I put you? I hope this is it. I think I already had it open, but we'll do this. Slides. When you see slides. Oh, sorry. Brad executor. Should we see if it works? See if it works. See if the clicker works. No, No, the other one, the right side. All right, good.
Yes. Okay, so how many of you have watched the podcast? 100%. How many of you are doing podcasts? Is it half a hand here? So, I'm going to tell you about the importance of podcasts in a minute, but let me start off here by saying, here are the podcasts that for the Senior Estate Concierge are already up and running. The first one we did before we had the meeting last time, and we had Chris Liebem. Chris is the leader for the West chapter, and that's the link to it. The second one we did was Bill Graff, the founder of TSEC, and the link to it. The third one is Shepard Ellis. Shepard is from the Central chapter, and the link to it. And then Mikey Newton. Mikey is the leader of the Southwest chapter. We've already got these in the tunnel here. Dawn Bloomer. That's why she half raised her head because it should be out today. Okay, and then Troy Williams. We got it recorded, but it'll be the following one, and then the next week will be Jennifer Dunn. Now, one of the things you see behind these are the sponsors. For Chris, we didn't have sponsors yet. With Bill, we had the Junk Lookers and the Gulf Coast Movers. I think Blake Perkins is here, and is Gloria Maggio is also here for Shepard Ellis. And we had Angie Galantis, and we had Lori Ferris for Mikey Newton. Let's see, we had Emily Ring, and we had Troy Williams. And for Dawn, we had Spring Branch Medical Supply. I'm not sure who that is.
Shep, he's back there in the back.
Oh, is there? Yeah, okay. It is Shepard Ellis, okay? And always there's care of seniors. And somebody here from Always Best Care of Seniors. That is Sharon Soul, okay? I'm gonna cover the question marks in a minute here. Okay, so where do you find them? All over. iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, YouTube, the Senior Estate Concierge. If you just go to resources, you can click on any one of those and listen to them.
And share them.
As well as a dozen other minor directories. And when you share these, you can share them on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, or wherever you want to share this fantastic opportunity to help promote the Senior Estate Concierge. Podcasts are the most trusted media. They are the most influential. They're more influential than the movie stars or the social media or texting or emailing. What is the most exciting thing is when someone invests $1, their return from a podcast is $4.90. No other media has that kind of results. That's what's going to show up when you see it. This is the one from Chris Liebem. Then you come down and you just click on and listen to the podcast there. this is a series of questions I covered last time, and we covered most of them already this time. But as a member, your cost, well, let me back up. To produce a podcast, most of the podcast producers charge several $100s, maybe as much as $1,000 for a real, outstanding one. Your cost is $0. It won't cost you at all to be interviewed on the TSE podcast. So how do we pay for it? Well, we have sponsors. I just listed some of the sponsors, and when you saw the question marks, those are sponsors that we need. And the way you become a sponsor, there's podcasts that were made 20 years ago that are still being viewed today. Podcasts go on forever. You get a tremendous amount of listenership on podcasts. So, I will send that to you if you don't have it already, but we can go on Venmo, we can go on PayPal, or our podcast producer, Chris Daly, will even take your credit card there. What I like to do is start you out, put your card in here if you're willing to invest just $50 to have a podcast for Texas, the Senior Estate Concierge podcast. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question. If I wanted to donate to a specific one, is there a place to do that when I go to Venmo? I could probably leave a message on there.
If you do yours today,
Uh-huh.
you'll be on Don Broomer's podcast
Okay. Oh, it goes in order.
right next, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So, any other questions? We appreciate your support, and again, all it is a $50, not donation, not contribution, investment, because you get.
So I could invest in my own, right?
Huh?
I could sponsor my own, right?
No.
No?
You cannot.
No?
You never, a podcast is informational, educational, there's no selling that goes on in that podcast.
Yeah.
And so, you don't wanna be selling just after you've done that part of it, so. But yes, you can be on, anyways.
Well, Gail, also, when you do that podcast, one of the things you ask us is, how can we contact you?
Yes,
During that podcast?
oh, no doubt about it, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they do get our name and phone number and
Yep.
listen to it while you get that.
It's really, when you think about it, it's just more marketing, right? More value that you're getting out of the whole, being a part of the group, right? That's what it's all about. That's what we want to do, is support each other and grow each other's business and help more seniors. So that's what it's all about. All right, so, thank you again, Gail. Question?
Can we get somebody outside of TSEC to sponsor a podcast?
Can we get somebody outside of TSEC to sponsor, Gail? Yes. Yeah.
You're just getting the opportunity to be the first ones to be a sponsor. I've already got some lined out that are outside of here, but yours are gonna be first.
Very good. Good question. Okay, so, what time is it getting to be? 12:02, all right, we're ahead of schedule, good. Well, we're gonna do member and guest introductions. We're gonna do members first. So we'll go around members, just say, your company name. We're gonna time it for a minute, okay? So, company name, if you've ever done a 1 minute or 30-second intro, you do your name, do a small thing about what you do for helping people, and then say your name at the end. In this case, also add what chapter you're in, and if you're a chapter leader, okay? So, I'll start.
Okay.
If that's okay, Gail?
Yes, sir.
Okay. give you an example. So I'm Bill Graff. I am the founder of Senior Estate Concierge and also a real estate broker with the Graff Donaldson team. Carmen's in the back. That's my business partner, the boss. We are both SRESs. We both have over 15 years experience in real estate. And I've been running this for the last almost 6 years now. And it came from my real estate business. So we love helping seniors. We have now the tools to help seniors, and that's what we're all about. So Bill Graff with Graff Donaldson Realty Group. Was that my bell? No. Good. It was somebody else's bell. All right, that's it. So we'll go around now to Dawn.
I'll get time myself. I'm the timer today. So, Bill gave me a bell. So.
She's the type.
My name's Dawn. I'm a nurse with Interim Healthcare Houston Southeast. We own a home health franchise and home care franchise, so we do both skilled and non-skilled care. We help veterans who maybe have a VA doctor and have caregiver needs. We are in network with that program called Community Care Network. Long-term care insurance, workers' comp, and then other insurance on the home health side. So, I'm the leader for the Southeast chapter and a member of Central.
Members.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nicole Barton. I work with Dawn at Interim. I'm fairly new in the industry, excited to be here. Love working with seniors, and I am in community relations.
Okay. Good morning. As all of you know, if you've spent any time in healthcare, it's highly fragmented. So my name is Barbara. I'm a registered nurse and a board certified patient advocate. It falls under the umbrella of care management. I'm more clinical as a nurse. You're a nurse too, which is fantastic. You can't have too many advocates or care managers in a room. We are like the general contractors of healthcare management. So whatever we don't know, we know all of you. So we can serve our clients the best. So I do everything from medication organization and review and filling med trays, going to doctor's appointments. And the biggest part is just the communication that's necessary between the family dynamics, all the providers, and everybody else that's involved, because it can get quite messy. So we're pretty good at that. So thanks so much. Oh, and this is Kristen. Sorry, I'm not used to having somebody with me. This is Kristen. She's also an advocate working with me.
Hi, my name is Sharon Sehora. I'm the owner of Home Watch Caregivers. We're a home care agency. We help people age in place. We recently merged with the Women's Office, so instead of Home Watch Caregivers Cypress, we're Home Watch Caregivers of Northwest Houston. We cover all the way from Cypress all the way to Kingwood, Condor area. We are VA approved. We have long-term care and private pay. I'm a member of the Northwest chapter.
You don't have your questions?
All right, Northwest.
Hey, I'm Blake Perkins, owner of the Junk Luggers of Houston West. As the name says it, we haul junk. We try to help people declutter. We donate, recycle, refurbish, all while helping support local charities and keeping as much out of the landfills as possible. But we do electronic waste, trash, furniture, appliances, all the heavy stuff, and we can go in and get it. It doesn't need to be set aside. We can go in and help separate everything. But I'm a member of the West chapter.
Good afternoon, I'm Shepard with Spring Branch Medical Supply Store. We're over there at 8700 Long Point. We're a family-owned, self-pay medical supply store that has everything from the hospital beds to the transport chairs. What we're specializing is providing good quality products for the seniors or just anybody that comes in, because we service more than just the seniors. Actually, we're also providing workshops. This Thursday, we're having a workshop for healthy skin, a guide to healthy skin. The Demerite representative is going to be there, and she's going to show us all the different skin solutions. It's free. The only thing is that we lock the doors and make sure you have a tour. Except for your Spring Branch Medical Supply. Thank you.
Good afternoon, I'm Lori Maggio, the owner of Gulf Coast Move Senior Move Management. So we do all of the fund services to help seniors when they're transitioning from one place to another, including the donating, consigning, and we call Blake and have the junk taken away, and then we make sure that we pack very detailed their items that they are taking with them. We oversee the move and work with the mover to coordinate it, and we will go on the other end and unpack and set up in their homes or if they're moving into a community. So everything involved with the senior move.
Oh, I forgot, Central Chapter.
Oh, and I'm Central Chapter too. Thank you.
And I'm with the West Chapter.
Oh, I got that.
Got it out of the way. My name is Victoria Amox. I'm with Blue Moon Estate Sales, and we provide a professional service to help people sell the contents inside their home. If they would need to, if they're moving, maybe going to senior living, 55 plus, and they need to downsize. We come in, we stage everything, we price everything, and then we provide the estate sale. And then afterwards, 5 to 7 business days, a client will get their check for what they made from the estate sale. And you can see our upcoming estate sales at bluemoonestatesales.com.
Y'all are doing great.
Hi
everyone, my name is Avis. I am with The Key Home Care. It's formerly known as Home Care Assistance. I am a part of the North Chapter. Happy to be here. So at The Key, we specialize in helping our clients age in place, whether that be at home or in the community. We do have caregivers that go in and stay with them one-on-one. One of the great programs that we have is our balanced care method at The Key, and that's where our caregivers will go in and make sure that our clients are getting adequate sleep, healthy meals, exercise, social cognition. We have a bunch of different programs that the caregivers will go in and work with them one-on-one to make sure they're staying stimulated and engaged. So if you all ever have a client in need, give me a call.
What chapter?
North Chapter.
She did say.
Well, you took over Amy Lynch.
I took over for Amy, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon, my name is Carna Donaldson. I'm part of the Graff Donaldson Realty Group. I've been in real estate for 17 years, been working with Bill for almost 6. And he's already kind of told you about us somewhat, but just wanted to give a shout out to several people in the room that we've been working with. Lori, Sharon, Barbara, and there's somebody else.
Blake?
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it? Maybe one?
Well, I mean, you know, and Blake, yeah, we had one-on-ones with Blake, and we're doing like 3 in a row, just getting them out there. So, love doing real estate and love working with all of you guys. Thank you.
The boss.
Richard McCrory, Uncle Richie with McCrory Construction. We're basically remodeling contractors and aging in place specialists, and we tie in with you guys. And one thing we do is just, if somebody's living in their home, we go over there and we do a complete walkthrough, repair wall. We're gonna, here's what they got now, here we give them a budget, and then we just follow along. So just call Uncle Richie, Central Chapter.
All right.
Hello, Emily Ring with Home Helpers, non-medical home care. We do anywhere from companionship up to fully bedridden personal care assistance. We all start with the VA, and I started my first VA client, so I need some help. So I need to see you after a meeting. Sure. Again, Emily Ring, Home Helpers.
All right. And what chapter?
Oh, West Chapter.
Vanderbilt.
Hello everybody, I'm Susan Salmon. I am with Always Best Care. We are licensed for home health, but our focus is non-medical care. The reason why we're licensed as home health is we have an RN in our employment who can do designated duties. We are a VA provider. We also accept long-term care insurance and get direct referrals from a specific long-term care company and have been selected for that, which was an honor. And we have other differentials that if anybody wanted to meet with me, I can go into greater detail and explain, but I'm gonna keep it to my 30 seconds. And I am part of the West Chapter.
All right.
And I am Rachel Webb with Hope Assisted Living in Pearland. We are a small Type B licensed home, and we're a little bit unique in that I was a pharmacist for 15 years before I quit my job to do this, and I also act as a healthcare advocate for my residents, coordinating all of their doctor's appointments, physical therapy, all of that we do in-house, and I'm able to streamline the process so that I can kind of manage all their medications and relay everything from the doctors to the families, instead of them having to try to figure all of that out. And we've been very successful in getting all of our residents tremendously better, actually. So they've all improved drastically since being there. So it's a really neat concept, and I hope to expand this to a larger 55 plus community, but kind of do all the same services. And I hope to incorporate the Texas Senior Estate Concierge into my new plans. So I'll have to do a talk one day and tell you guys all about it, and how hopefully you guys can all be a part of my journey.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Yes. Hi everyone, hey friends, my name is Amy Wood. I have a company called Executor Support. So what we do is mostly all end-of-life type paperwork and administration. So we help folks who are in that estate planning mindset to kind of organize all the ancillary things. They already have their will, they have their trust, but who knows the passwords, who knows where all the money is, who knows where that storage unit is and what's in it. So I help them get all of those ancillary things kind of organized so someone could step into their lives and do the work as needed. I also provide a lot of support to executors and trustees. So I work as a project manager with folks who are trying to administer an estate after someone has passed away. It can be really overwhelming and basically like another part-time job that they take on. So I just try to keep it flowing and kind of troubleshoot and research those really tricky things like how do I transfer the title, mom's car is in Arlington, I live in Chicago, what's going on, so figuring those things out. We also provide fiduciary services such as power of attorney, so if you have any clients who are needing some support around keeping all of their financial stuff organized, helping make decisions, I can do that for them. Thank you so much.
You're in the...
I am in the central chapter.
Oh, I forgot to say I was in the southeast.
I think you said it, but
Okay.
Southeast. Yeah.
Good morning, I'm Joel Berry. I'm an independent insurance broker. I'm also in the central chapter, like so many of us. I specialize in life insurance, long-term care, and also short-term care insurance for those who cannot afford a Cadillac long-term care plan. The short-term care is the next best thing. If anyone wants a brochure, I have some. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well done, everybody.
Yeah. Right, real quick before we go to the guests. Members in the central chapter, raise your hand. All right. Northwest? North? Anybody in the north? Oh, Sharon's in the north? North? Southeast? Okay. What did I miss?
West.
West.
West side.
West.
The newbies.
All right, good deal. Thanks for great variety of folks here from different places. Good. All right, guest.
Am I the only guest?
No, you're not the only.
Okay.
You're not that special.
Not according to my mom.
I got a mouth, I apologize. So, my name is Chris McNeely, and I have a question for you. How many people here have heard of Medicaid compliant annuities?
Medicaid compliant, blah, blah, blah.
Medicaid compliant annuities. I'm a co-founder of OSTB Wealth Solutions, and this is one of the ways that we think outside the box. If you have an individual, whether it's a family member or a friend that needs immediate full-time care and cannot get into a facility because they have too much in the way of assets, Medicaid compliant annuity is a way to move that money to put them in a position where Medicaid can now help them, but the money's been moved in a place where it's safe. So that's something that we can have a conversation about. There are also attorneys that do emergency Medicaid planning. Those are great referrals as well. So Chris McNeely with OSTB Wealth Solutions, where we think outside the box.
Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Shakay from New York Life Insurance Company, offering life insurance, investments, long-term care, anything that you guys can think of financially. So just remember that I'm here to help. So that's it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Hi, I'm Kristen. I am working with Barbara as a patient advocate, and I'm also a respiratory therapist. So I also do clinical diagnostics in mobile settings to help people that can't get to doctors and so forth get pulmonary function tests, things like that.
Very good. Let's go to Terry first, and then we'll go to Troy. Terry.
Knock it out. Hi, my name is Terry Knight. I am the host and founder of the Senior Moment with Terry. It is a browser-based, on-demand streaming television program that will begin to air on your home TV in October. All these issues are related to senior issues. It may be healthcare, it may be legal, it may be housing. There'll be a variety of shows, and these are in-depth conversations with experts. As a matter of fact, Troy has been on the show. And we've got about 3 episodes that will deal with businesses just like Troy's that go in depth. So when adult children have difficulties, okay, and they don't know what to do, this is a place that they'll be able to go. Again, it's browser-based. Any electronic device, you can go to your home TV. Okay, so this will go around the world. And so it's going to be a really cool thing that's coming out, and we hope that you guys will be able to take it to the seniors and the people that you work with, and so that they'll be able to get some information that they really need. Okay? Thank you.
What is it called one more time?
A Senior Moment with Terry.
Good catchy
And hopefully you can interview more of us. Right?
Well,
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's what we're all here for.
You were supposed to come, I think.
I was?
Oh, that hurt. Speaking of a senior moment.
Senior moments.
He already had his senior moment with Terry.
Well, good afternoon. This is I'm Troy with Oasis Senior Advisors. I'm the puzzle master of senior living. Quite often, families don't know what the box top on that puzzle is going to look like. We help them paint that picture. Put those puzzle pieces together, give them options, and a lot of times those options are Troy Oasis Senior Advisors.
Northwest chapter.
Northwest chapter. Sorry.
Leader.
Yeah. Leader. Big chief. Yes.
You gotta go, Gail.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Gail.
Gail Stolzenberg, Senior Wellness Coach, is my membership in the Senior Estate Concierge, helping seniors and their families live longer, healthier lives. But I'm also the growth consultant for TSEC, and I help out big.
Yeah, very good. You help out immensely. I think you need to turn that around that way. Turn it around.
You want this one?
Who's up next?
Oh.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's,
No other guests?
that's why it's turned that way.
Oh, okay, sorry. My bad. Another senior moment. Larry, we need to talk.
Senior moment with Terry.
All right, well, very good. Thank you all. All right, we're a little ahead of schedule. That's good. Well, actually, we're right on schedule. 12:20. Next up, our special guest presenter is Cindy Hartman with C&S Care Management and Healthcare Services. We've been trying to get Cindy here for 5 years, I think. Come on up, Cindy. All right. There you go, right there. And remember, right click.
Right click.
You want me to help pass those out?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
All right. One for everybody?
Close, maybe. I'm not even sure. Hi, I'm Cindy Hartman. I'm a registered nurse and I own a company called C&S Healthcare and Care Management. And I know a lot of you. I'm very glad to see you again and to work with some of you. We appreciate that. I would like to say you're a great group, and I thought about joining for a long time. He's right. So, you're getting to the point where you're convincing me there, Gail. I live in Katy, and I have known Gail Stutzenberg for a long time. We actually were in the BNI chapter together, and I went to Gail's class on BNI. So I've been around a long time. Healthcare services is my non-medical services. And we are celebrating, the reason I'm saying that is we're celebrating 20 years of existence this year, this September the 4th. So I feel pretty good about that. We're still in business. That's pretty good these days. And geriatric care management, I've been in business for over 30, or right at 30 years. So I really have the experience. I know what I'm doing, I promise. And sometimes I seem like I'm having a senior moment and might do that during the presentation. Well, who knows? How many of you are, and thank you for inviting me. That's very special, very sweet. I appreciate it. How many of you are familiar with observation services or had any? Yeah, it would be her. Okay. Because she's the nurse in the room. I'm going to explain to you how this applies to you, even though you're not a senior adult, or some of you are not senior adults, and how you want to be educated to this. So you have a handout, and you might need a magnifying glass. I'm not tech savvy, so I didn't know how to make the slides bigger on my handout, but I have it for you. Also, you have to forgive me if I have a little bit of a sniffle and my eyes are watering. And I went to my first patient this morning, and she decided to pour straight bleach on her ceramic floors to clean them. Oh. And I have not recuperated from that yet. That was a little bit of a shock. But the floors are clean. So observation status or services are actually experienced in the hospital. So I thought you might want to understand how that hospital experience works. So a lot of seniors go to the hospital. A lot of you folks go to the hospital, and that's unelected. You don't want to go, you didn't intend to go, but sometimes it happens, right? And for seniors, this is most of the reasons, the top 5 reasons they go. Do they look familiar? Does it seem reasonable? Falls, number 1. So fall prevention is number 1. So for you young ones, you don't be talking on your cell phone or texting on your cell phone when you're walking through a parking lot. Senior adults tend to trip over the curbs and the dividers between the cars and uneven surfaces, and we can be walking to the bathroom and fall down. It just happens, right? So falls are number 1. Car accidents, I feel like sometimes we need bumper pads inside a parking lot because seniors don't always drive effectively. For you who are getting a little older, it might be you realize you can't see either direction and people don't use their mirrors. And if you look at mom and dad's cars, there's a few scrapes and bumps on it. So car accidents really cause problems. Medications, big time. I don't know that the medication I'm taking is the medication that one doctor prescribed. Is just a different name from another doctor, and I'm taking double doses of my medicine. Could be heart, could be blood pressure, could be diabetic medication. Medication errors are like huge in the senior community. It's just, I'm fine, I'm taking them out of the bottles, I don't use a med box, I've got this under control. And then as nurses, we usually have little heart attacks and we go in and find out what's really going on. Heart-related issues, obviously, that's a problem. CHF, the AFib, I was with a client yesterday who went for her ablation at the hospital, so heart is an issue, right? And then complications from diabetes. We know, I bet all of you are pretty familiar with diabetes and maybe even had a diabetic client or family member, and you understand that it affects all the organs of the body. And vision, it can be a a huge issue as a comorbidity. So you have several things going on. You get CHF, you have heart issues, and you add diabetes to it. It's like a snowball. It just gets worse and worse. So why talk about that? Can y'all read my white print? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people don't understand, senior adults don't know and understand that when you enter the ER, you are not necessarily being admitted to the hospital. You are going through the emergency room, and when you go through the emergency room, it's not elected. You know, if you're gonna have a knee surgery, that's an elective, and so you're going to know that you're going in, you're scheduled for surgery at 7 a.m., you have to be there at 5, you know how that is, right? Or colonoscopy or whatever. It can be paid for under Part B. That's an outpatient service. But when people go through the emergency room, they don't understand observation services are under Medicare Part B. And this is where the confusion comes. I'm gonna talk rather rapidly. Uncle back here told me not to, but I just do. So slow me down if you have a question. And under Part B, 20% of Medicare approved services are paid for. You know that when you're gonna go in for an elective surgery. You've already talked to your insurance company, you already understand that 20% is covered, you know what doctors are covered, and you know if the anesthesiologist is covered in that hospital you elected to go to. You've already done your research, right? And you know pretty much what your costs are gonna be. Doesn't always happen when you go in the hospital because you get charged for every service in the hospital separately, not just Medicare Part A is the hospital coverage and it's gonna pay for you. Medicare Part B does not. So this becomes very, very important to those of us who go in through the emergency room and they're under Medicare. So it does not generally cover prescription drugs. So if you go into the hospital for 3 days, every pill you take, every IV you get, every blood lab that's drawn, those things are charged to you under Medicare Part B. So it's, you know, a lot of people don't, they're there, they think they're getting all their services and it's gonna be paid for by Medicare, but it's not covered under Medicare Part B. Some of those things, especially prescription drugs. And the only way you can get those paid for, reimbursed, is by contacting your plan and asking them for reimbursement. So it's really important. I'll explain a little bit more why. So observation status is older than 20 years old. It's been in Medicare's benefit for many, many years. How many of us kid played with a balloon and you squeezed it in the middle when it, you know, a water balloon, squeezed it in the middle and the water was dispersed, right? And that is what happened to Medicare. The government started looking at the Medicare benefit, and you will remember this if you're old enough, that when people went in the hospital, they stayed 3, 5, 7 days. Well, that's not a problem until it started costing Medicare a lot of money. So what happened was observation services was always there. It just wasn't, it was underutilized. Nobody ever heard of it, right? So I had a patient who went to the hospital and the daughter called me after 7 days and said her mother was being discharged, and why did I not know that her mother was gonna end up with a $27,000 bill? I was stunned. I had no idea. I'd never heard of it, didn't know how it was affected clients and what the history of it was, where it came from. So what happened was Medicare began to see that that's a service that they could use. If you come in under the emergency room and you go to the hospital, you're under observation services before you are not, and that means you'd be an inpatient. So what happens is all those services start building up. You spent 5 to 7 days, you got blood, you got IVs, it didn't matter. You got it, but you were not considered an inpatient. It was not covered under Medicare Part A. So what Medicare did was they said, we need to use observation services. So they squeezed that balloon right in the middle. And guess who got squeezed? The Medicare beneficiary. So now our costs have gone A and B. We still have costs, but we got squeezed, and that's what happened. Medicare decided to save money, and that's how they're doing it. So it's a service under Medicare. A lot of people just don't know it. Unfortunately, it can hurt the Medicare beneficiary. You may not realize how it hurts, and that's why I'm here, to tell you how it hurts your Medicare beneficiaries. So one of the worst thing was, and for this daughter that I spoke to, was that they didn't know anything about it. They had never been told. Before 2005, you didn't have to alert the patient that they were on outpatient services under Medicare Part B. Well, you think I have a supplemental insurance that's gonna cover it, but not all people have supplemental insurances to pay for that. And some people are using Medicare or the hospital admission to go to skilled nursing, and from skilled nursing to go into Medicaid, nursing home, or rehab. And they don't realize that they're not covered. They go to rehab and they end up with an entire rehab bill. So there's a rolling effect. It doesn't just affect you when you go into the hospital. It affects you down the way, down that path. Okay. So they were supposed to be given. I realize how I wrote this now. They were supposed to be moved Hospitals are now required to moon a patient within 36 hours, right? I thought about that later. They have to verbally explain that you are on outpatient services, and if you choose to stay, you will be billed for those services, and that's what's important to know. Here's what most people don't know, and I didn't put this in my slide presentation, forgive me, I think I will next time. But let me just read this to you. This is from one of the healthcare advocacy groups. Medicare Outpatient Observation Notice, or MOON. A hospital must provide an oral explanation of the MOON and get a signature from the patient or someone acting on the patient's behalf. If the patient refuses to sign, the hospital staff member must sign to certify that the patient was notified. Now let me explain why that's a problem. My mom's in the hospital, she has dementia, they came by her room, and they knew the person that came in, and I won't necessarily pinpoint who they are, but let's just say a hospital staff member comes in, and they hand her a sheet of paper and they ask her to sign it. Now, having dementia, she probably shouldn't sign anyway. She signs it and doesn't even know what she signs. What if she doesn't verbalize that? What if she has aphasia? She can't tell you what's going on. And did you hear me? The staff member can say, yes, she was, you were notified. She can, or he can actually put that on a bedside table, sign it and say you were notified. Okay? So that is why you need an advocate when you go to the hospital. Okay?
Amen, sister.
And they have to do it within 36 hours, and they should be explained to what's going on, and there should be someone, a legal representative, who's there to receive it. But that is not what the law says. So you go into the emergency room, and this is literal. I'm not making this up. You can actually go through the emergency room and go into PACU or ICU or medical ICU. You can be there anywhere from 8 to 72 hours and still be under observation services. You have any idea what the cost in a PACU, a patient step-down unit, or an ICU would cost? It's a tremendous amount of money. But when you are there, you are on observation services. They don't have to make you an inpatient until the doctor decides to make you an inpatient. The doctor then can write an order that says you are now an inpatient. But your time as an inpatient does not start until that order is approved. That order goes to the Utilization Review Committee to decide if you really are an inpatient. The doctor and the Utilization Review Committee have to decide that. You can literally have a heart attack, get blood, IVs, x-rays, CT, MRI. You can get all of those things and still be an outpatient. The doctor decides if you're going to get better, and they can send you out in 72 hours. This makes crazy, it's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. The hospital outpatient services you receive while your doctor decides whether to admit you or not as an inpatient, those are all services that can be charged. So even if you have Part B, there's a coverage, right? And that coverage can be a percentage, but it doesn't have to be the entire payment for the services, right? Okay, so let me explain this. They're covered under Part B. How do you know? People ask me, well, how do you know what's covered, right? I'll read you one other little thing. Okay. Nobody believed me when I told them this. You have to open your phone every time, right? Okay. This came from physician advisors. The Utilization Review Committee has it. I know most of you have never done this before, but when you go to the hospital to market, let's say, you used to be able to get to the case managers and market to the case managers. And now we don't necessarily do that, not one-on-one anyway. You don't get invited into their offices unless you bring them something. But you get in, and right, and they have a book. They have a book that is, it's put out by a company called Interqual. And Interqual is the one who compiles all the HCPCS codes that we use in hospitalization. That's a lot of information, I know. But that's where the diagnoses are for when you go in the hospital, that they put a diagnosis on you. It comes from those codes, and the codes are what they bill by, okay? So that's very important. That book is very, very important. So, maybe 10 years ago, after I began to understand this even better, I had the opportunity to go to a case manager's office and sit down and talk with her. I was very excited to be there because I have a service I need to sell you, right? And there was that book. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's the book. You can't find that book online. You can do, all of you, try. Go ahead, try, right? And I looked at it, and she saw me looking at that book, and what do you think happened to that book? Gone in a heartbeat. It was moved. Now let me read you something from 2024, as soon as I find it. Okay. This is for physicians. Do not post any of these lists on the internet. Please, members may share them with staff at their institution who can benefit from them, but encourage them to join our group or all the other educational networking opportunities that we provide. But here's just a portion of the list. Compilation of inpatient only lists by specialty, okay? So they already have decided what specialties can admit as an inpatient under certain codes. So when you go in and you think you're being admitted as an inpatient, people are reviewing codes that you will never see, and Medicare is deciding if they're gonna pay for the benefit or not. Remember, because they're squeezed, who they squeezing? Us, right? Okay, just remember that. Okay,
Especially in November.
that's right, did I just move that? Right, sorry.
Especially
Yeah.
in November.
So even if you stay overnight in a hospital, okay, even in a room, they're supposed to let you know, even in a critical access hospital, you must get the notice if you're an outpatient for more than 24 hours. That does or does not happen, but let me tell you what usually happens. My husband has a heart attack. He's rushed to the ER. He goes through the ER doors. What happens to me? Yeah, who stops me? The billing department stops me. Oh, we need all your information, right? And they have you sign everything. Am I worried about what I'm signing? No, you're not worried about what you're signing. Your spouse is in the back. Who knows what's going on? Do you want to get there as quickly as possible? You sign anything, right? Most people. There may be some spouses who don't, but yeah, I'm just saying, you sign it, right? And one of those may be the notice that you have been sent into the ER as an outpatient, and you're signing, and you don't even know that. Wow. So I tell people, I tell them, get a copy of what they just signed, so they'll know.
Is the Interpol book the same as the ICD and CMS codes?
No, it's different.
It's like the
it's like the ultimate
language of their own. Okay.
It's the Illuminati of.
It is, and they protect it with their lives. I mean, they do, because that list can. I actually have
but I didn't know what they were.
Huh?
I didn't know what the book was.
I know, right? I actually did get a copy of a list from an attorney who published it one time. Didn't think to print it at the time, and went back to get it, and it was gone. Wow. And that's how I learned that you can be an MICU, ICU, you can have a heart attack, you can be getting blood pressure elevating, lowering drug, you can get all kinds of stuff, including blood. And I will tell you, I have had a personal experience at that, so I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so kind of clear on, is it mud? How are we doing on time?
Got about 3 minutes?
Oh,
4
shoot,
minutes?
shoot.
10 minutes? How much you need?
10 works.
Take 10.
Take 10.
Okay.
Okay. We don't want to cut you off.
I'll still be here.
So here's the thing. Until that doctor and everyone else agrees that you are an inpatient, you are an outpatient. But the minute he or she writes the order for inpatient, that's when your inpatient time starts. Not the 3 days before, not the 24 hours before, when that order is written. Okay, then it has to go to the utilization review committee, and you can see these are the co-pays for this. Okay, and that's on your handout. Okay, now what about if I get there and I need to change my status? I want to know, you're an educated group, I want to know if I'm an inpatient or outpatient, and you think you should be an inpatient, and you go talk to them, and they say, no, I'm sorry, you're an outpatient, but you can talk to your doctor, and your doctor goes, oh my gosh, absolutely, you're an inpatient. and he writes the order. Again, the utilization review has to approve it, but they have to do it before you're discharged. That's important. They have to do it before you're discharged. They may or may not change it to from outpatient to inpatient. They can't change it after you leave. So right now, there's a lawsuit with the federal government to get them to move the dial so that we can appeal and get that changed after discharge. But they have not done that. I told you this is 20 years. They have not done that yet. Okay. So you're an outpatient, Medicare Part A pays nothing, you need rehab. A lot of people go into the ER, they're 80 years old, they need rehab, but they don't get what is considered a 3-day or 24-hour hospital stay for admission in a SNF or skilled nursing unit, nursing home for Medicare rehab. So they can't go to rehab. And a lot of little old ladies and little old men, if you will, think that their husband or their wife is going to get to go to a nursing home to get better, stronger. They can't because they were not an inpatient. They have not been there for 3 to 24-hour consecutive periods for Medicare to pay for their skilled nursing or rehab. That's huge. And a lot of people are counting on that when they move somebody from the hospital to a nursing home under Medicare Part B to be sure that that's covered. So they can bide their time. You get maybe 14 to 21 days, don't believe anything else, is gonna be 14 days or less for the rehab. You get in, if you are not qualified as an inpatient for those 3 24-hour periods, after you've been there 3 days or 2 days, whatever, then you do not qualify for Medicare skilled nursing for rehab that's paid for by Medicare. Did any of y'all know that? Surprise.
Does that include direct admits to inpatient rehab, or is it just solely skilled nursing? Because I know we used to, when I was in inpatient rehab, we had to do the 3 consent.
They did waive it during COVID, some of it, and sometimes they waived it for strokes. But I don't know right now what the next.
I worked at post-acute medical as a pharmacist, and they waived it during COVID. I started during COVID.
Right.
So we stayed full all the time. I
Right.
didn't know why. And then I found out whenever it expired, our census was way down. I found out about that. But yes.
Surprise. Here's the other thing. Do y'all remember when they put in, they said they were gonna punish hospitals? They said, look, you can't send a patient home too soon. We're gonna punish you because if they go out home health and they go out and they come back, that hospital's gonna be punished. Who got squeezed? The hospital. Hospital goes, whoa, we can't do that. Whoa, we can't be penalized by Medicare for that. They take a lot of money back. Okay, so you can't do that. So what did they use? Observation services, because you were never admitted to the hospital. So this is a way a hospital skips. I'm not saying hospital's bad. I'm just saying that's how they got around the squeeze. And so they send more patients out under observation services after X days because they're not gonna be penalized.
For readmission.
Or for readmission, thank you.
So that way it never goes into the
Rehospitalization.
readmission numbers, that way it never goes.
Yeah, the
into
numbers
readmission.
never look bad for the hospital.
No.
So that's what happens, and a lot of people do not understand how to fix their Medicaid. They don't understand how to fix their benefits when they go in and what the cost of services are, just like prescription drugs. Oh, so, will it work? Okay. Well, can I get it turned on or will it not work?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh,
I didn't look all the way.
I don't know how you do it.
Go on your laptop.
Oh, I don't.
My laptop.
This is one of the first ladies that ever had this experience happen to her. I just thought I'd end with that. But, and these are some resources for you. It was from YouTube, so maybe we can.
Oh, tell us your personal story.
Can you go back? Can you go back?
Oh.
I don't know.
My dad was in his late 80s. He may have been almost 90, and he went into the hospital. And again, this was a long time ago, right? But I had learned about observation services. I knew what it was. My dad was in the hospital for 5 days. I really didn't ever leave my daddy because He was a physician, he knew what was going on, but he really needed somebody there to advocate for him. My mom was 88, you know, and it was very hard for them. And because I was long distance, I just decided to go stay. And I told my dad, anybody walks in this room, you just don't talk to them. You tell them, come see me. I will talk to them. One time I left the room. I come back and I see two people walking out of my daddy's room, and I went, son of a gun.
Yeah,
and I went in, and what was there? A notice, right? And they said, oh yeah, by the way, we meant to tell you, 5 days. He went in, he got blood, he got injections, he got CTs, he got MRIs. I'm like, no, we're not having this. So I wrote a letter to the hospital executives, and I said, no way. You did not notify us in time. We had no idea we were under observation services. We never got a bill.
I'm sorry,
That,
I don't know how to get that.
well, it's okay. That wouldn't happen now. You're gonna get the bill, and you're gonna be notified up front. One way or the other, you're gonna be notified up front. So it's okay, I'll let you go. But about 5 years ago, I called off at work. I don't ever call off at work. I was hurting so bad, I thought, dang it, I gotta go to the ER, but I don't want to, but I'm gonna have to go. I get into the ER and I find out I have a hernia, a strangulated hernia. Like if I hadn't gotten there in time, there'd have been really bad news, right? And the doctor said to me, you have to do an emergency surgery. I said, do it, give me morphine, I'm ready, okay. And literally, I am in recovery, coming out, they wheel me out in a stretcher. I'm not on Medicare at the time. Stretch me out, right, and bringing the stretcher into my room, and I'm like, okay, I'm so glad that's over with. My husband, who I've been preaching to him about observation services, says, honey, you okay? I said, I'm fine, I'm doing good, no problem. A lady walks in with a clipboard. Literally, I got pulled into my room. Lady walks in with a clipboard. I hadn't even gotten off the gurney yet. And my husband is standing there, and she said, I'm from the billing department, and we need to get your information. Because literally, I went in and they put me in surgery. So I said, we need to get your information. And my husband, bless his little heart, he goes, is she under observation services? Because I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, I thought the answer would be what? No.
Yes.
Guess what? Your private insurance mirrors Medicare. If you don't know it and you've got a Medicare Advantage plan or Blue Cross Blue Shield, you think you're covered, you better check it twice. Because I was under observation services. And that was private pay, Blue Cross Blue Shield. I had surgery. Yeah. And unfortunately, I had to go back 2 weeks later and have the other side done. It was awful. But I will tell you that. You have to know your health care. You have to know what your insurance covers. Don't think just because you're a young person that your insurance is not getting squeezed. And you're the one who's gonna pay for it. So I wish you could have heard this lady, because she had a really good story. I'm sorry we didn't get there. But I really appreciate you all being here and listening to me. Thank you for having me. I will come.
Thank you for being here. Any other questions for Cindy?
Can you email us that link and we can watch it later?
Yes, if you'll give Bill your emails.
He has all
Or,
that stuff,
yeah, I mean, if you want to, well, I've got the presentation, so yeah. I think there was just no link.
It should be
Oh,
there.
there you go.
Maybe the link is there. If not, let me know. I'll certainly do. It's a great testimony to what happened to her and her husband.
I'd just like to make a comment. So we're new to home health, that's on the home health side, and learning all this Medicare stuff for home health is crazy. It's crazy or crazier than this. And I hired a director of healthcare services, and she's done this for a long time, and she said, and he'll probably agree, it is just a big game.
Wow.
It's a game that you have to play.
You have to know the ins and outs.
Yes.
And that is, and she was right. I'm sorry, I forgot. Barbara. Barbara's right. It really takes an advocate. It takes someone who knows the system. That's what we do. We're care coordination, and families just don't know.
Yeah,
They
you don't
just
know
don't
what you don't know.
Sons and daughters don't know, and when they go in, they're totally what? They don't have.
And you, just to add to, since you're like, because there's something else. When you go to a big accredited care organization like Kelsey, there's a Medicare shared savings program. Okay, and what that does, if you have traditional Medicare with a supplement, which is the best, right? If you're attached to an ACO and you're opted into this Medicare shared savings program and you don't even know it. And what it does is allows data sharing across all the providers. So now you've taken traditional Medicare and it turns it into kind of an Advantage plan or more like an HMO. And they have their own separate care managers who will now stick their noses in and tell you how to spend your Medicare dollars.
That's exactly
So
right.
if you check for MSSP, whenever you're involved in any of those big HCOs, you have to call Medicare and tell them that you don't want to do data sharing, because that's what the MSSP does. And then it will release you from that, and then you get to control.
Takes 2 days from the time.
Yeah, it
Minimum.
takes 2 to 7 days.
And the problem is people,
Sorry, it also bonuses the program, bonuses ACOs.
Yes.
By choosing the lower cost services downstream.
Yes. The only shared savings that's going on is the amount of money the providers are making.
So the doctors in love.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a really broad statement here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell, I've been doing this for a long, long time. This is hair dye, right? I've been doing this a long time. And I'm gonna tell you from the bottom of my heart, do not get in a Medicare Advantage plan. So,
No, sorry, insurance people, but.
I should tell you, just don't
Medicare
do it.
people
But
here.
eventually, down the road, you will regret it. It sounds really good right now. And this is not political at all. I'm just telling you, it's socialized medicine. That is all the government is doing. I don't care who's in office. The government is funneling you into socialized medicine. And that's why these things are important to know. So Medicare's probably eventually gonna go that way, but a Medicare Advantage plan is that. Someone else is taking your life in their hands and they're managing it right down to what they need it to be to keep their money, make their money, spend their money. It's their money, not yours.
Can you go back to a Medicare plan?
Yes.
Every year, yeah?
Or have a life-changing health event.
Yes.
Right, or a life-changing
Yeah,
event.
life-changing.
Yes. And hospice is covered. But I will tell you this, sometimes when you opt in that, they can also come back and the Medicare plan can say, we need to look at you first.
Yeah.
Right, you may have to qualify.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to me, but my wife's been in the emergency room like 2 or 3 times. We have Medicare and we have the Aetna Medicare Advantage. And we've never got any of these bills that you're talking about.
Oh, wait, how long has it been?
I was in the hospital, probably twice this year, and then.
Oh, that's why.
What
My
do you-
residents are getting bills they're getting their first bill from a year ago.
Yeah.
A year?
Right. You
Wow.
just gotta-
And you need to look at your Medicare Advantage plan to see what they have Medicare, they have observation services too, don't think they don't. But you have to look at what it covers. So I'm just speaking to Medicare today, not Medicare Advantage,
Right.
except for my little sidebar.
Yeah, it's-
But I will tell you this, it's not just about Medicare. Look at your private plans if that's what you have as well.
Yes.
It's very important you know what you have before you go in. And for those of us who have very elderly parents that are like 93, 94, 95, you're going in, this is for free, know what you want before you go in. If you fracture a hip, okay, but if mom has dementia, what are we gonna do? So here's the thing, those services all need to be paid for under Medicare Part B. There's gonna be some bills coming in, hopefully it's totally covered, but it might not be. Do you really want them to go through a CT scan? Do you really want them to go through MRI? You need, as their advocate, as a family member, you need to think about what you want to do for your loved one. So when you find out a diagnosis or you find out something about their care, you need to be prepared to say, do I want to go further with them?
Yes, you don't have to do everything.
You don't have to do everything that they suggest.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate it very much. Okay, I know that was good, so we didn't want to cut Cindy off, so we're gonna run over a little bit. Real quick announcements. So, I think the last time we were here a couple months ago, you guys said, we want more socials, we want more activities outside of the meeting, so that's what we did. We did a social at Jonah's Movers up the northwest side. I think it was a really good success, too bad they're not here, but for those that were there, raise your hand.
It was fun.
Had a good time?
Yes.
Good.
Open bar, it was worth it.
Open bar, it was an open bar.
Well, what made it
So, open bar. So Shep, you know what you gotta do. So, October 24th, Spring Branch Medical, put it on your calendar. Shep and Faisal are gonna sponsor, and, well, we need sponsors for food,
Electric
right?
wheelchair races.
Electric wheelchair races, we're gonna have some games, yeah. I don't know about the open bar, but we'll see. And then in November, we'll do one. We need, if anybody has an office or a business that they'd like to highlight, have everybody come over and visit, let us know. We don't have a date, we don't have a location yet, but, you know, this one was Northwest, this one's Central, maybe in Southeast or Southwest location, or maybe a Central.
And Bill's gonna probably be about the same time, 5 or 5:30 till 7.
Okay, sounds good. Alzheimer's Walk, then what, Troy's Northwest and North one is October 26th, is that correct?
Yep.
All right, we need people to sign up, and what was your special deal that you're doing?
Yeah, if you individually raise $1,000 or more, then I'll buy you a steak dinner at Perry's for 2.
Open bar.
That's right. It's only weird if it doesn't work.
That's right. And then the big one also, shouldn't say big, but that's, I guess, the main one, at U of H is at November 9th, and we do have a TSEC team, so you can go out on the website, and we'll send it out again here pretty soon, where you can go out and donate, sign up, bring your dogs, bring your cats if they walk on a leash, your parrot, your lizard, your better half, just be your family, and come out and have fun. It's a short walk, I don't know, less than 2 miles or something like that. If it's a nice day, it's a lot of fun. BBB Awards, October 8th. We have one table of 10 people already. Barry Crispin with Sacred Choice Funeral Services has another table, and I think there's like 3 or 4 spots left. If you're interested, which I highly encourage you to come, it's a good networking event. We're gonna get an award, but $75 for a seat. Get the network before the lunch, and then you have the lunch. So, who's up? Who's in? Who's already in? Shep, Emily, Amy, are you already signed up?
I have a booth, so I have 2.
You're having a booth too?
I don't have a table. I have a booth and
Oh.
2 tickets, and if somebody wants to sit next to me, it's open.
Okay. I wish I'd have known. You could have sat at one of our tables.
Yeah.
Well, let us know right away. So, Blake, okay, we're gonna send out an email again today or tomorrow. So, just need to fill up Barry's table. Okay. And then the holiday party, Festival of Trees, which we've done now 3 or 4 years in a row now, at Belmont Village, Hunter Creek, December 5th, 3 to 5 p.m. What we did last year, and we'll probably do the same thing again this year, do a Twilight Wish tree, but so it's really kind of a social. We get together at Belmont Village. We won't have a formal meeting. We'll get as many people as we can. We decorate a tree, we have a good time. Belmont hosts us and does a great hosting job for us. And so it's always a lot of fun just to get together and do that, okay?
Do we need to bring stuff to decorate our tree, or is there stuff?
Yeah, everybody will bring, we'll get details, but we might have a bunch of stuff left over from last year, but everybody bring bulbs and decorations, and it's a Twilight Wish theme. So, is everybody, who's not familiar with Twilight Wish? Raise your hand. Everybody's familiar with Twilight Wish? All right, good deal. So we're looking for, what are we looking for?
Wishes.
Wishes. What else? Volunteers. And what else? Money, when we need money. We have some money in the account, so we start getting wishes, then we might need to do some more fundraising, but we really need wishes. So if you know veterans that need something, need some help, need whatever, let us know. It can't be a real like home renovations or anything like that, but if they need a chair ramp, a wheelchair ramp or something like that. Or we gave away mattresses and shoes to a gentleman. We've gone to Astros games, we've gone to boxing introductions and things like that. So, Dawn, real quick, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Southeast chapter had a speed networking event. Do you mind telling us how that went? Real quick?
Sure.
Because I want to do more of those
Yeah.
for different chapters, so if you don't mind.
So if you look at our Facebook page, there's a little reel and some photos of the speed networking event we did last week, Interim Healthcare Houston Southeast Facebook page. I tagged TSEC in it, and this is basically an annual event for us. So we invite a lot of service providers in an effort to help boost our membership, find new speakers, and obviously have the speed networking. The community, Grand Lakes Tuscan Village hosted. They provided a very nice heavy hors d'oeuvres. There were some sponsors that brought in alcohol. We had a lady doing headshots for those that were interested, and we got great feedback on it. So we had some door prizes. It was a little crazy. I mean, I've done like 4 or 5 speed networking events, and they are nuts, right? They go really fast. You're trying to tell people to move. People don't want to move. People want to, I mean, it's just, it was, for the organizers, it was a little, if you're OCD, it was like, oh my God, nobody can follow directions. But the people that were there had a great time. They're like, that was great. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, would y'all just move? And they move, and they would talk to who they're supposed to talk to. So Nicole will be heavily involved with next year's speed networking event, and she learned a lot, and she's working with Tony at Grand Living, and they already have a lot of great ideas to make it even better. So Interim Healthcare Houston Southeast Facebook page has some nice photos, and maybe TSEC does if I tagged you. I don't know how that works.
they're out there, but I'm gonna get Chelsea to get with you guys to kind of get a plan out. And so if any other chapters want to have one, the chapter leaders want to have a speed networking in their chapter, we'll try to do that next year. I think it's a great idea.
It was
I
really
didn't make
good.
this one, but I went
Recommendation,
last
go
year.
with long tables, not round ones.
Ah.
They did round tables and it was terrible. You've
Yeah,
been
then
talking
you
to
need
this
music,
person
right?
and then turn to that person. I'm like, no, you can't do that. So, yeah.
All right, well, if anybody else has any other events that they'd like to share with us, just send them, and we'll get them out on the website, or we'll try to post them on social media. Okay, like Shep, if you got one coming up, what was that you have coming up?
Oh, we have a workshop coming up tomorrow, actually.
Okay.
A guide to healthy skin.
Okay. So things like that, if you got something like that, you want to share it with the group, then send it over to me, and then we'll try to get it on social media and on the website. Okay. So that's it. So thank you all very much, and have a great rest of the day.